What a
Hello.
fucking journey it has been to start recording this motherfucking podcast. Like, Jesus. Oh my god.
We have been having
so
many
issues.
technical issues. I feel like people think it's so easy to record a podcast because they're like, oh, you just pull out your freaking microphone and just record. But we have been, I think it's been 2 hours since we were supposed to record. It's literally...
Oh my god.
What time is it?
No.
Dude, it's 1 p.m. No,
What?
It's 12:30. It's 12:30.
Oh my god. Oh my god, and now my air conditioning is making me so cold and I need to turn it up.
Oh my god.
There it is. Motherfuckers. Like, I literally went to the mall to buy an adapter because my adapter broke and it wouldn't connect to my mic. And then just all this shit. For no reason. For no fucking reason.
This.
But
yeah.
I think this is something, a lot of people would have actually stopped. They wouldn't have gone on with the recording. They would have just been like, okay, let's just do another day, fuck it, or whatever. And we're like, okay, we're gonna do this. And I think this is where the difference really lies. Like, if you want something to succeed, then, if you're being tested, oh boy, you have to push the fuck through. Because if you don't push through, you're gonna quit the moment it gets a little bit hard, and that's not what you want to do. Like, you really want to make sure that you are putting the effort in order to get out whatever the fuck it is that you want. Like, for us, I don't even think we had like a proper vision of the outcome besides, just having a bunch of fun. Well, this was not that fun, but like, generally it is fun, and just talking to people and talking about things that matter to us and just kind of making a difference in bringing these conversations out there. But holy fuck, like, this was a fucking journey.
I think it's just the conclusion is just that we are so fucking excited to record this. And although this morning was really challenging because it was like one problem on top of the other and we just couldn't figure it out, but we are here now. So hi bitch, how are you doing?
Oh my god,
how are you really?
I might just kind of fell, and then I was turning down my audio because the first time we were recording, apparently there was a lot of feedback from the fucking AirPods. We love the AirPods, but we hate the AirPods, and this is again a technical difficulty, but I am doing good. I think I'm doing good. I think I was about to have a little bit of a mental breakdown, but I'm feeling a lot better now that we are finally situated and recording. And in general, I think, the last couple of days, it's kind of rainy and sunny at the same time here, which I think the weather affects my mood oftentimes, but I actually love the rain. Like, it's very peaceful and calming to me and just bringing me to this place of, okay, I want to lay on the floor and just, lay on the floor in the rain. This is something
funny.
That I would do. Like, I feel like this is a very Queena thing.
Yeah,
yes, I know. Oh
dude, like, I feel like at this point I've kind of told myself, like, I'm going to try to appreciate the rain, but if it rains too much and it's too gray, like, I do get depressed, let's be real. But it's sunny outside today. I'm happy. And dude, this funny fucking thing, I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're in season. I don't know what it is, but I keep going, like, every time I go outside, I see white butterflies. And, white butterflies are like a sign of good luck. And I keep seeing them over and over again. And I'm like, what is about to happen here? Because...
Oh my god, that's so funny.
They're kind of, like, rare, I think, in a way. I don't know. Like, white
I just
butterflies.
started thinking, and I actually remember, like, I think it was yesterday, I was on the phone with my mom, and she's just like, oh, a witte vlinder. And that's like, in Dutch, it's like white butterfly, and now you're saying that, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, it's, because it's not something that you see very often, like, they're, you know what I mean? Like, how you don't see it every day. It's not like a fucking pigeon or some fucking dumbass fly. So, I don't know. I'm very into those things. Like, if I see one, I'm like, inside, I'm like, okay, something good is about to happen,
Yes,
it's like that little spark, little highlight of the day. But I made some avocado and mango toast before recording.
Ooh.
And it was so good because I had this mango that was super ripe, and I put some on avocado toast, and honestly, you should fucking try it. I don't know if you're, like, into avocado toast and mango, but...
I like avocado and, like, salmon, but I don't really like mango. Like, I feel like mango to me kind of tastes like soap.
Oh my
That's
god.
really weird.
I love
Yes.
mango. But yeah, anyone listening, if you fucking love mango, then
Try that
mango and
shit.
avocado is
Oh
delicious.
my
It's
god.
I love like
I
sweet and salty, you know? So to me it's like a
Oh,
and I put some chili
yes.
flakes on top. So good.
Oh
So
my
good.
god. I feel like that with the that one recipe that I sent to you and I posted this on my Instagram as well. It's like baked oats. Like it's
Mm.
like baked blueberry
Oh
oats
my
with
god.
like a cream cheese and I made it like a cream cheese and buttercream filling. Oh my fucking god. And then with some cinnamon sugar over top. This shit, and it's quite easy to make. You just blend it and then you put it in the oven and everything. We're gonna put the link to these things. We have to
Yeah, we
put a link
should.
or a recipe in like the description box or whatever. Like
I mean, I think
because
yours is a little
these.
bit more complex than mine. Mine is literally you take bread, toast
Yes,
it, put
yes.
avocado. Yours is a bit more complex, but I do want to try that thing because it looked really good. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, dude, I feel like we have so much that we want to talk about today because yesterday,
Oh my
once again,
god.
we were FaceTiming. We were having so many talks, and we were like, we need to talk about this tomorrow. And I want to bring the first kind of topic into, today's episode because I've been thinking about it so much, and even this morning and everything. And basically, it's kind of the concept of the like balance and having really that sweet spot. And it can be in anything in life, but for me, yesterday, it was really about my kind of business and personal life balance and the sweet spot between those two things, like working enough but also enjoying my life enough. And the thing that was really bothering me, I was saying to Queena yesterday, and I still struggle with it and I have to do something about it, is I have, a business, it's a marketing agency, and then I have and I have some other projects, but then I have my personal life. And the good but also bad thing about my business is it's online, and so it's with people from all around the world in different time zones, and so people reply to my emails all day long at any time. And I can kind of work at any time of the day. I don't have set hours or a routine, which is a good thing, but it's like a double-edged sword because it also means that
Mm-hmm.
I can be at 1 a.m. or at 10 p.m. out with some friends, at dinner or whatever, and I'll receive an email, and sometimes the emails are not necessarily pleasing. It's challenges that come up. And what happens is that although it's like 10 p.m. and I'm out with friends at dinner, I will get super kind of anxious and stressed about it, and it's like my business is affecting my personal life in a way. Sometimes in a good, sometimes in a bad way. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's how we kind of started on this topic. It was really
Yes.
interesting, and I think it's something that we should talk about because I think if people don't necessarily struggle with this in the same way that I do, I think you can struggle with it in different ways, right? Like Queena,
Mm-hmm.
you've probably also experienced this.
Oh my god. This is, first of all, like, I think this happens to anyone that starts their business. And I think
Mm-hmm.
it might also, like, let's say, depending on what kind of job you have, that might actually also be the same when you have a job, depending on, what it is that you do. Like, if you actually, on your downtime, or maybe you're working from home, like, I think that can be something that it's kind of like your work and personal, they blur, like the lines between them blur, and you
Yeah.
don't know where to make that division anymore, especially if you love what you do. It's very easy to kind of get carried away and be like, "Oh, okay, I'm just gonna do a little work." Like I have that now, even though I'm kind of doing freelancing and working for someone. I still always have the possibility to work, or the time to work, or the time to think about work, because there are no set times. And I think that when you work from home,
Mm-hmm.
which is, something that is a reality for a lot of people right now, because, COVID and everything happened, a lot of people are working from home right now. It can be so easy to just be like, or even if you don't really sit down and you say, I'm going to work from 9 to 12. Let's say sometimes what actually happens to me is I will sit down, I'll work for an hour, then I will do something else, then I will come back to work, then I will do something else, then I will come back to work, and then maybe at nighttime or something I'll be like, I feel a little bit creatively inspired right now, let me look into some things for work. And there are no boundaries in that. And if it doesn't have to affect you, but in your case, like, it does. It clearly, makes you either feel better or worse. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Did the
Yeah,
recording
I
just.
just realized. I just realized that it wasn't actually recording, and the moment I realized it, I was like, "Oh my fucking god!" Like, because we basically use this platform to record, and I hadn't clicked record, so we're still gonna have all the audio, but
Yes.
yeah.
Thank God
And
we are recording on GarageBand too. But
I
like I
know.
was saying, like it can be so easy to just cross, like if you don't have any boundaries, it's easy to get carried away in them. Let's put it like that. So I think
Mm-hmm.
for me right now, it used to really make a difference, especially because my, let's say my livelihood, like my well-being depended on how well my business was doing, and because
Oh,
it depended on how well
yes.
my business was doing, I was just stressed all the time. And
Oh my
now
God.
I think, having like, I think this also maybe has to do with like consistent income that's coming in your business. And if you are secure in that, because I feel like by the point that you're a little, well, it also depends, like you can still get worried. But I think when you're
Yeah.
a little bit more secure and situated, oftentimes you'll be like, okay, well, if this doesn't go right, like I think you create more boundaries when there's more structure, when there's more of a consistent something coming into your business, whether it be energy, money,
Well,
or whatever that might be.
I think at the same time, if although you would have like security, security is, it's
An
like, is it
illusion.
ever really security? Because yeah, it's kind of like an illusion. It's like Fugazi, Fugazi. It doesn't really exist
Yes.
because you can work at a job and just as an example, you can have a job and there's always the chance of you getting fired if you do something wrong. And I think in
Mm-hmm.
business it's the same thing. Like it's like something can go wrong and you can lose all your customers, you can lose all your clients.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, that is the reason why I think that it's all in our head. And I
Mm-hmm.
think whether we have
Yes.
security or we have more of a not very secure type of business, which is my case, like I have months where I will have lots of clients, I'll have months where I don't have lots of clients. And whether it was this or me having very secure business with lots of clients coming in all the time, I think it's all in the end still in my head. And it's also the way I plan my days, all day
Mm-hmm.
long I'm kind of working. I don't have set hours. And I was telling Queena yesterday, now I want to work from, I don't know, 9 to 3 or 10 to 4, like whatever. And during that time I'm on my laptop, I can check my emails. But after that, I don't have my notifications on for my emails. I don't check anything. Like I need to give myself some rest because it's giving me anxiety to be constantly checking my emails, constantly thinking about these things. And, although I do like it and I enjoy it, like I have to give myself a break, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So,
Yeah. And this is so important. Like we plan work
yeah.
hours, but we don't plan break hours. And for people
Yeah.
maybe like us, that are kind of, let's say not workaholics, but that enjoy the work that they do, sometimes we can think, okay, work is good. But then if work gets too much and it actually goes, if it fluctuates, it goes up and down, that can really, oh my God, I remember for the longest time it would affect my mental health so much when my business was doing badly. Like I
Like
could
which
not,
one? When you were doing like coaching,
when I
like
was doing
that?
coaching. I mean,
Yeah.
now I have a lot less. I feel like I'm a lot more separated. Like I have separated my, like me and my business were two separate things. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
working when I'm working, and when I'm not working, I still have a big passion for it, and I still feel like, what I'm doing is a big part of who I am. But I think I started separating like, and this started when, back in November when I just stopped working and I was like, okay, I'm not going to do anything for the next couple of months. Like I just need to sit and do nothing.
Just
For
yeah.
for the people that don't know, I literally just said, okay, I'm going to stop doing my business. I have to do nothing right now because I was so caught up in doing everything all the time
Yeah.
that I was
Fucked.
mentally wrecked. Like, yes, I was
Fucked.
fucked. I was literally, oh my God, on another planet. And then back in January, I had, I think, the biggest like mental challenge for myself. Like, I was in such a low vibrational space. And then, as I started, because at first doing nothing was so hard to me because I'm someone that always needs to do something. I need to have my hands in
Same.
something. I need to be busy, blah, blah, blah. But I started redirecting that energy that I was directing into my business previously into things that actually funneled energy into me. Because business gives me energy, but it also takes energy away. And the question that I had to ask myself at one point is like, okay, how much energy am I receiving in return for what I am giving? Is this equal? Am I
Interesting.
giving more energy than I am receiving? And I realized that I mean, back when I was coaching, I was giving so much all the goddamn time. Like, I could not stop thinking about my clients. I could not stop thinking about their success, about how well they were doing, about, everything in terms of how their journey was going, so much that
Oh my god.
I saw that as a part of myself, but I now realize that it isn't a part of myself. Like, I really had to understand that business is business and I am me. And even without my business, I'm still going to be me. And I think maybe this is something that you can also touch on. Like, how do you feel in terms of, separating yourself from your business? Or do you think that who would you be without your business?
I mean, no. See, this is where I see it a bit differently. I mean, the thing is, if I don't do anything, because you said at one point, well, yeah, I mean, just the question you're asking basically. If I don't do anything and I don't have my business, I mean, I'm still me, but it's a very empty me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I really think that I'm someone that has not necessarily the word, entrepreneurship, but like creating, not even creativity, but like creating, that's in me. And the times that I felt the worst in my life and been depressed and been fucked up has been when I wasn't doing anything. And, I could have done certain things, little things, but I wasn't actually creating something and working on it and having the ambition of it in my head. And now that I have, all these things, like sometimes it's hard, but overall I feel great because I know I'm moving towards my dreams, basically. I mean, that sounds fucking cliche, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, yeah, I connect myself a lot with just creating things. If I didn't have that, it's almost like I would live without a purpose. And to me, that makes me feel empty. I think I would be completely
Of
depressed, to be
course.
honest.
But I
But to
mean, let's
me,
challenge that and
it's not
say,
only, yeah, but because the way I think you look at it is kind of like, um, I don't know how to explain this, but like for me, it's really about the sweet spot, like finding the balance between doing the work, but also having the
yes.
breaks.
Yes, of
You know
course.
what I
But I
mean?
mean, when I'm saying, okay, so let's challenge the idea that you have. And, also from my perspective, I like to shed a little light from a different point of view. Why is creating directly related to business? Because it doesn't have to be. Like, when I was doing nothing, I was not actually doing nothing. I was doing things and I was still doing what I would be
Oh,
doing now, but just in a different, like, there was no
well, what did you
objective to
do? Like,
actually,
what did
I
you
think
do?
I
Like,
did
literally,
the most when I was doing
like,
nothing.
practically,
Like,
what did you do? Like,
I
concretely.
was I started sewing, I started pottery
Yeah.
classes, I started doing more things with plants, like I bought a shit ton of plants, took care of them. I started creating more, like writing more. I feel like that I think this is also something that really helped me. It was when I started to disconnect from the idea of I'm creating to sell to I'm creating to create. That's when I actually started creating things that would sell better.
Yeah. But
Because
I
they
think,
were, you know, coming from a different
yeah.
place.
But I think this is really interesting because I think this is the main difference between us because the reason, I say
Yes.
that to me creating is business is because I am not a creative person in I can't fucking sew for the life of me. I can't, it's not that I can't, it's also I don't necessarily enjoy it. I'm so impatient. I don't love it. I don't love drawing. I mean, sometimes it's nice, but I'm not a very manual person. And oftentimes we think creativity is manual and has to be things that you do with your hands, like, artists, everything you connect it with those things, like hand, design, I don't know. But to
Hmm.
me, creativity is in my mind and it's in, when I create, because sometimes when I have projects and ideas, I will create keynotes on my laptop and I will do things, but it's always more of the idea of creating something like a business, a product, but not like manually creating things. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Well,
or
I mean,
creating
yes, yes.
videos
You mean like
maybe and things.
something
Videos,
concrete.
maybe.
Well, yes, I think
Yeah.
for you, creating videos is like a big that's where you are really fucking creative. And also when you're
Yeah.
creating presentations or something like that's your creativity sweet spot. And I think this is something
It
that,
is my sweet
the
spot.
general idea of creativity, I don't think it necessarily has to be, you don't have to be a painter or graphic
Yeah,
designer
that's what
or
I mean.
whatever. Like, it has to be something like, where do you feel like you can express yourself the most? And I think that's what
Hmm.
creativity is. But I think sometimes when this is what I've experienced, sometimes when I would connect my creativity to the idea that it had to fit into a certain spectrum in order to be sellable. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
where I started to limit myself. And I think that might be the same thing, when you're creating a YouTube video or something like that, and you are
Mm-hmm.
creating to grow instead of creating because you love it. And those can be
Yeah.
they can be hand in hand. Sometimes you create something that can allow you to grow and that aligns with each other, but sometimes, let's say, what you create to grow is not necessarily what you would create just to create, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I totally see your point. I think once again in this topic, it's about finding the sweet spot. It's about doing, I
Mm-hmm.
think, in my opinion, something that you truly enjoy. Why? Because if you truly enjoy it and it comes really out of your heart and your creativity and your creative brain and mind, it's going to be something that you're going to consistently be doing because you enjoy it, and it's also going to be authentic, and it's going to be something unique and special, and people are going to also love it. But you also maybe have to think sometimes, um, is this good quality? Is this something that could make me grow? I think it's about thinking about both of those things, kind
Mm-hmm.
of the logical and emotional in a way. It's like, um, but I was going to say
Well, I
something.
mean,
I
this is
lost my train of
also
thought.
kind of connected. I remember that a couple, maybe it was a week ago or something, we had this conversation about, when people want you to post things and how success really works, and, you
Yeah.
breaking through that glass ceiling, I guess, in a way. And it's like, if you create something that you really love, I think it's naturally going to find the people that it needs
Yeah.
to find if you keep doing what
Mm-hmm.
you want to do. And oftentimes we have this idea that if there would just be a person that would post, our shit, or if there would just be someone that, and we start to kind of blame other people as well, like, oh, but they have that because their parents have this
Mm-hmm.
and that and blah blah
Or
blah. And
because,
okay,
yeah.
it might be easier, or it might be a door in, or this is the same thing. Oh my god, I have this big thought that I always have. It's like, okay, a rich person can be born in a rich family, but they still have to uphold that the riches. They can't, like, they can still spend it all with the habits that they have as a rich person, just like a broke person could, stay broke if they don't do anything about it. It's like, okay, well, you have been gifted something, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
someone that's born into a rich family has been gifted money, but if they use money in the wrong way, they're going to lose money. Like, if their parents die, they only have a
Yeah.
certain amount of money
Yeah.
left. They can
That's
spend it
true.
all or not
But
add more to it?
yeah, that's true. And that's why, like, they have to still do something with their lives. I mean, it depends, there's levels to
Yes.
being rich
How
as well.
rich
But
are you?
I think the thing is, I think the critique or the thing that comes from this, that people would usually say is, when someone's rich versus when someone's poor, the resources that one has are very different. And so the poor person would have to be a lot more resourceful, and the
Hmm.
rich person. But here's the thing, I believe that in a way, if you have to be very resourceful and you don't have necessarily the things to create, you will be a lot more creative because you have to think from scratch. Imagine if you don't even have a tripod, so you have to put your fucking camera on all these on top of books. I mean, I used to do this,
Me.
or and so creativity, I think, flows out of that. But when you have it all, and when you have, even when you start creating, I don't know, content, when you have the audience, you start pressuring, there's pressure, and you start limiting yourself. But
Hmm.
when there's nothing, there's everything to discover and create. And that's also like, that's like another topic once again. But
Yes.
I think it's whether you're rich, poor, whoever the fuck you are, it's about really finding your sweet spot, even for creating content, doing something that you enjoy. Like, we love recording this podcast, but we also know, I think, kind of maybe a bit the audience that we're catering to. Like, we know why people would like it. You know what I mean? Like, it's really about,
Yes.
I want to love it, enjoy it, and you have to specifically love it and enjoy it, because if you don't, how the fuck are you going to be consistent? And if
Hmm.
you're not consistent, how are you ever going to be successful? You're not. You can't
Yes.
be.
Yes.
And I think
Yes.
that's the most important thing, because how the fuck are you going to sustain it if you don't love it? I mean, I don't
It's
know.
true. And it's also like,
How do
okay,
you?
there needs to be something that makes you do it. Like something inside of you, like a driving factor, like sometimes it can even be a negative, or generally seen as negative emotion, like the need. Like, it's for me, when I started my
Hmm.
business, I needed to make money. I literally put myself in a position where I had no other option. And I hear from a lot
Yeah.
of people, they're like, oh yeah, but or even when there's a rich person and they go into drugs, it's like, oh well, it's because of the money. It's not because of the money, it's because you made the decision. And in anything and in everything, no matter, the position that you come from, or the family that you come from, or the money that you do or don't have, everything in your future depends on the decisions that you're making now. And if you're going to make bad decisions, then you're going to have bad consequences. And I think people need to realize that money, first of all, money is not the root of all fucking evil. Like, let's just position this here. This is a very, I might be spiritual, and I see that in the
You
spiritual
are very
community a
spiritual.
lot. Yes, I am, but a lot of spiritual people are like, no, no to money, no, like
Oh
money,
my
I don't
fucking
need
god.
money, I don't need anything. And I don't need anything, but holy fuck, do I love money. Like, money is great. Like, it gives me so many possibilities, opportunities, like freedom. Like, I fucking get freedom when I have money. So yes, I goddamn want money, and money wants me too. And
Yeah.
I bring it into my life, and it's
I think
not
it's like
bad.
I think it's like we don't want the money, but we want the freedom. And I
Yes.
think the freedom, because a spiritual person can say that you're already free, or I don't know what the fuck ever they say, or you don't need money to be free. But freedom means different things to different people, right?
Hmm.
So you kind of define it. And for some people that means that, thinking that having a certain financial, status, I don't know how you say that
Status.
word.
It depends on your
I don't know.
accent. Depends on your
Status.
accent.
I don't know what my fucking accent is, but I
Oh
think it's
no. My camera just went eat.
yeah,
Internal temperature too high.
oh
Let's
no.
cool down. Okay, I will turn it on in a little bit again. Queena.
Oh no. Well, we have your video
Anyways,
here, so it's okay. But yeah, I mean, once again, this is about, I think this whole episode is really for you to reflect on yourself, and it's about self-awareness, and it's really about understanding your own self. I mean, I think self-awareness is the most important thing
hmm,
ever in
yes,
all of the conversations we're ever going to have on this podcast. It's about self-awareness, because if you know your own self and what you stand for and your purpose and your values, and like you can, well, also if you start to discover yourself, you can discover what your purpose is. And if you know what I mean, like it's all about
yes,
each person. Even when we said in the first episode, you're here to make your own opinions, you're here to reflect and ask yourself questions, because we can't give you the answers to your questions about your life and yourself, right? So
no,
it's like, if you know yourself and you start to discover yourself, man, this is getting way too philosophical. I'm like
it's
losing my train of thought.
it
We're
always
going,
goes like this. It
we,
always, every
yeah,
conversation that we have goes like this. But it's the truth. At the end of the day, the only person that holds the answers, and this is also, I think I mentioned this in the last episode, I'm not sure, or we just talked about it, but
probably.
it's like, okay, well, we can read all the goddamn self-help books that there are, we can
Hmm.
listen to every single fucking podcast to give us the answers that we need, but in reality, that's just knowledge that can be applied into your life. But you have to take whatever it is that you need and remove whatever it is that you don't need, and figure out what the sweet spot and the best way is for you, instead of just looking upon someone else and saying, I need you to tell me how to live my life, how to make money, how to grow a successful business, how to get closer to myself. No. You can listen to those people. You can listen to these conversations. You can listen to some business
Yeah.
podcasts, some personal development podcasts, but you need to understand that no one is going to give you the goddamn answer. You have to find
No.
that answer within yourself and have these
Because there is no answer.
conversations. Exactly. There is no
Yeah.
absolute truth. There is no
There
absolute right
is,
way.
there, no, there isn't. And I think it's also, we can also talk about the sweet spot, because this is something that, we're both in our 20s, and a lot of, me and Queen are both in our 20s, and a lot of our friends and people that we know, they're starting to get jobs, or maybe they're still studying. And what I find is that a lot of people at our age, and maybe even a little later, they're very lost, and they can't find the sweet
Mhm.
spot for what it is that they want to do in life. And this is also something that I think, once again, it's about self-awareness and knowing. But don't you think that there's so many people out there that don't know what they want to do? Even you maybe, and I don't exactly know what we want to do,
No.
but I think some people are very lost, like much more lost than we are.
Yes. I mean,
And
we
so
are
it's like,
willing to try. This is the difference. Like, we are willing to try a bunch of shit and maybe fail, but so many people are in love with the idea of knowing so much that they
yeah,
forget the doing. Like it's like,
That's
okay,
true.
well, we don't really know, but we kind of have a vision for now, you know, like the next step or the next maybe year, and that might change, but we go into something with an idea of, okay, maybe this is going to be it, and then allow it to change as you go. Like maybe it's going to be different, maybe it takes more time, maybe it takes less time, maybe you find a
Yeah.
completely different path, but you have to move into a direction in order to arrive at a destination. And if you
Yeah.
just stay stagnant and you say, okay, well, I don't know, I don't
Hmm.
know, I don't know, I don't know, you don't give yourself the freedom to even think about what could be possible. And this is, you know, what people don't do. They don't give themselves the freedom to think about what could be.
And also, you said it's like people want to know. Like you're saying that as in people want to know everything before they start something, right? That's
Yes,
what you mean.
yes.
And that's funny
Certainty.
because even if I think you never ever have 100% certainty in anything in your life, but
Nope.
it's like because you can go into a business and even if you know everything about the business, there's always external circumstances. I mean, look at fucking COVID. You know, it
Oh
has
yeah.
changed everyone's life drastically. And
Mm-hmm.
there's only one thing you can have certainty about, and that's your own belief in your own self about you achieving the things you want to achieve in life. And that's what I have. You know, I'm like, I know, you know, I have my own little dreams and things, you know, of like living in LA and having a certain kind of life and doing certain things and living at the fucking beach, you know. But anyway, that's for another episode. I know in my fucking head that that's going to happen. And it doesn't matter how I'm going to get there. I don't have certainty about how well my business is going to do. I don't have certainty about how well I'm going to do in this specific project, how much money I'm going to make. I don't have certainty about those things.
Mm-hmm.
But I have certainty over the whole picture because, you know, one way or another, I am going to fucking make it. And I can take 100
Yes.
different routes if I need to, but I will do it. And I think this is the thing that most people don't
Yes.
understand. And they also don't have, I think, a specific end goal in mind or a specific ambition. They just go. And
Mm-hmm.
if it's like, if only they knew that they can just try and fail. And I mean, this is also so cliche. How many times do we hear people saying, oh, my
Fail
camera.
forward. Fail
Yeah, like
fucking forward.
we hear it all the time, you know, it's okay to fail, it's okay to fail. But I think people don't actually understand, like, it's really okay to fail, bro. Like, how do
Yes.
we have to say it? Just go
I mean,
for it.
it's something that I think in society we've been so, like, we always get judged by our achievements rather than, okay, how much did you have to do in order to get there? Like no one really looks at the journey. Everyone looks at the destination and says, either they say, oh well, you know, must have a rich mommy and daddy, or they say, oh, it must have been easy, I could never do that, like it's just because they're this type of person. Or they say, oh, that's nice that they achieved that, you know, maybe a positive thing. But no one ever says, holy shit, how fucking much they must have had to do and how many times they must have had to fail in order to get to this point. The journey must have been a fucking process, and that was probably beautiful in the way that they were able to transform, you know, and grow through it. Like no one says that. Everyone is just like, well,
Yeah.
great end result. And I think that
Yeah.
oftentimes maybe this is something, and there was actually a picture or a video that I saw where it was like there was a dad raising the children, and he said every day that he wanted them to come home and tell them what they failed in, because he said if you don't fail often enough, it means that you're not trying to achieve something, and that
So
you're not
true.
trying to actually get better at something, because in order to get better you have to fail, and when you fail it means that you're growing, and when you're growing it means that you're getting closer to what you want. And I thought this was such a beautiful shift on what we usually see, because you know parents, they want us to come home with like an A plus or however many points, or you know a new degree or a new this and that, and the moment you
Oh my
fail
God.
you actually get punished for it. You know, it's like,
That's
oh,
really, yeah.
you can't go to this party because you got a bad grade, you can't go do this because you got a bad this, you can't go do that because you got a bad that. Like no one is actually even asking the question, first of all, why, what happened, how did that occur, what did you try, you know, is this, you know, something that is going to get
Did
you
you
closer, is
try
this a learning
also?
experience, you know?
Yeah.
Or did you just, and sometimes even within this, which is a little bit off topic, but oftentimes when children get into situations like this, like we get low grades, it's because we're calling for something, like we need something from the parents that the parents do not see, you know. It's like, and this is with everything in life. I also think that, you know, when people get into a really bad place and they maybe start to act out, like why don't we ask, what's going on inside? Like, are you doing
Yeah.
okay? Do you need me to listen to you? No, everyone is just like, oh, look at what happened to that person. Must have, what a
Yeah.
fucking joke.
That's really interesting. And I mean, this whole conversation, like the failures and everything, it comes back to the beginning of this podcast where I was saying that, I have to disconnect from, my business from my personal life, because if I get this email telling me, imagine you receive an email, and it's at 10 p.m. and they're like, oh, you're going to lose, I don't know, $5,000. So it's like these little failures, if your business is super connected to your personal life or your work, it's going to affect you so much. So I think in order to be able to go through the journey, you also have to enjoy it, of course, but to survive the failures and everything, you have to be in a certain kind of mindset and install certain systems that allow you to go through the challenges and failures in a peaceful way.
Yes, yes.
See, like
Oh my
all of this is
God.
just so connected. Like I love putting the dots together. And I keep thinking while
Mm-hmm.
we're talking right now, I'm like, okay, how do all these things connect? And that's it. Because I'm like, if I don't find a way now, if I don't figure out a way for me to be super peaceful all day long, even if I have all these challenges and failures, because, the more money you have, the more problems you have, the more clients you have, the more
Mm-hmm.
problems and challenges you face. It's normal. And in order to
Yes.
be great and to go forward and to grow, you have to be able to handle these challenges. And,
Mm-hmm.
it's one thing to be scared of not starting a business because of the failure. And then it's another thing to actually be able to handle the failure while it's happening and to face the challenge while it's happening and keep going every single time. Because it's easy to say
Mm-hmm.
it, but then I think it's important to really in the moment, because I mean, I'm literally living through this right now. I'm like, okay, what can I put in place concretely, practically in real life for me to feel better? And I think this is what everyone should do, you know?
Mm-hmm.
What can I actually do?
Yes.
Because it's not just in the head, it starts in the head, but then it's practical things. So I'm turning
Mm-hmm.
off my notifications. I already did yesterday and this morning, because usually every morning I wake up, bro, and I go on my phone and I check my business notifications, like on my email. And
Mm-hmm.
how bad is that? You wake up and immediately, boom, business. I
And
don't
that
breathe.
really decides like the tone of your day too. Like if it's a good thing,
Yeah,
it's gonna be a great day. But if it's a bad thing, it's gonna be a fucking awful day.
exactly. No, but that's so true. It's I mean, I almost want to compare this to, I mean, this is a very different topic, and I definitely want to talk about this on one of the following episodes. But I have had, an eating disorder, and it's kind of the same thing. Like, I used to wake up and I would weigh myself on the
Mm,
scale. And if I didn't like the number I saw, I hated my fucking day.
yes,
And so,
yes.
how you start your day, too, and how, the things and processes you do, like the systems, the routines that are built into your day, it can change everything.
I can
Isn't that
definitely
just
do
so
that.
interesting?
It is. It's really, I don't know. There's so many things about that, there's so much inside of that. And I think that for me, I think I've gotten to this point where I naturally kind of know, do I need to give myself something this morning? Or am I going to be okay just doing whatever, And this is something that we also talked about on the last episode where it was like, okay, do we put in place like a systemic morning routine where it's like every morning I do this, this, and that? But I think that once you reach a certain level of, and this depends on the person as well. Like for my personality type, I know that I've reached a certain level of self awareness and self discipline in a way that allows me to say, okay, this morning I don't have to make my bed. But tomorrow I might have to make my bed because it's gonna, like, if I already feel kind of weird inside, I
Hmm.
know that I have to do something. If I feel good from the moment I wake up, I know that I'm gonna feel good throughout. But we have to kind of manage ourselves, like, and also the fact
Yeah.
that you're asking the questions, like you're assessing what is happening in your life. And I think that this is such a big fucking thing, and not enough people are asking questions about why we do things,
Yeah.
what we do, how we can change what we do if it makes us feel like shit, how we can better ourselves on a daily basis. Like everyone is just stuck in living this life, meanwhile we could be progressing, we could be growing, we could be aiding ourselves in a way that makes us happier or a better person, or like, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve in your life, like if it's more free. But we have to get to that level of self-assessment and self-awareness, and then be able to reflect on that and not make
And
yourself
find
feel
the
like
sweet
shit.
spot.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, I
Yes,
mean,
oh my
see, this
god.
is the thing. that's the thing. It's finding the sweet spot in so many areas in our lives and everything, even in our relationships and, our
Mm-hmm.
friendships and our family. And I think too much of anything is probably bad, you know?
Yes. Yes.
Honestly, too much alcohol is bad, too much sugar is bad, too much business is bad, too much working out is bad. I think
Yes.
maybe too much podcasting isn't bad. I feel like we could
Well,
talk for hours and hours and hours and hours, bro.
yes. Well,
Literally.
but the technical world tells us that that should not be happening. Like
That should not
literally the
happen.
cameras will shut off, the computers will fuck
They will.
off, everything will go to shit just because we are trying to do too much of the thing, you know? They're like, "No, no, no."
Yeah,
But we are conquering this evil.
we are. We are, learning, and we have some little failures sometimes, but we have been learning
Yes.
and growing. And I think
Yes.
by the next episode will be perfect,
Well,
our
as perfect as it
quality.
can be.
Yeah, well, I mean, a whole lot better than the last two. Well, the last
Yes.
episode and this one. But
Yes.
no, this is just so interesting. And I
Yes.
think, you know, I mean, you're really the only person that I have these conversations with, these really raw conversations. Like, sometimes there'll be glances of conversations like this with some people in my
Mm-hmm.
life, but I think what me and Queena have is something so special. And I
Mm-hmm.
really hope that anyone that's listening to this, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you were in my school. I don't care if you don't know me. I don't care if I don't know you. Like, literally, I hope that you have someone like Queena is for me in my life to talk, because I think you can think yourself, but imagine not having us, like each other in our lives. How, like
Yes.
we, in some, like, if you are listening and you don't have anyone to talk to, come DM us. We're more than happy to
Literally.
talk.
Oh my
We're
god.
looking
We
for
love
guests.
talking.
Yeah, if you have something interesting about you, whatever the fuck it is, it can be anything. DM us, and maybe we can even have you on the podcast. We're very open
Mm-hmm.
and love making connections, so we're really open to that. Make sure and especially if you listened till this moment
Till
in the
this
podcast,
point. Oh my god.
you
You
are
are
a
a
real one.
fucking boss.
Literally, send us a DM if you did. Send us a little,
Yes. Oh
I
my
don't
god.
know,
A little hey,
some
I was still
emoji.
here at the end. Peace.
Yeah,
Peace, baby. Oh my god,
so crazy,
yes.
bro. And
Mm.
yeah, I mean, I think that was
That was
really
beautiful.
interesting.
I
That's
think
making
this
me
was like full
reflect.
circle. Full circle.
Full
And I
circle,
think
but
this is
everything, yeah, everything was connected still, although
yes.
there was a lot. I am gonna now have to clean my house. I'm so excited, you guys, because I have and it's coming soon too. I ordered this huge, well, the biggest mirror that IKEA has, and I'm so excited for it to arrive because I love fashion, I love dressing up and shit, and like creating reels. And I'm so excited because with that mirror, I'm gonna be able to, it's fucking huge. It's like 2 meters and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's coming soon, and I'm gonna have to clean my house. I'm like rearranging my house. Can we also talk about that? Like, I have just
Oh
moved
my
a few
god.
things of furniture in my house, and it's made me feel so much better and so refreshed. It's crazy
Yes.
how
Yes, I
big of a
know.
difference that makes. Yeah, it's
Oof.
crazy.
It's a fucking journey. I also think that arranging your house to be like the space that you truly feel best in, like this is something so important that
Yeah,
many people take for granted, you know? We're like, "Oh, I'm just living here." Well, you're existing in this space. Your energy is floating around here.
so
Make it
true.
nice, make it good, you know? Like make sure that it reflects who you are as a person and make sure that you feel like it's so important to me to feel cozy, and this is
Mm-hmm.
something that I also like moving so many times in the last year. I noticed that I could be in the nicest fucking Airbnb. Like so many people would compliment my, especially my last apartment. Everyone was always like, "Oh my god, this is so nice. Like it's so beautiful. Like you're so lucky to live here." And I was like, "Well, I'm waiting to get the fuck out." And now where I live, like there's still so much fucking shit that I have to do on this, like that I have to work on when it comes to this apartment, but I feel more at home here than I ever felt in any of the other places that I've been in that were really fucking nice. And I always thought I aspired to live in this picture perfect house, you know, or like apartment. And then I realized that picture perfect really didn't give me any satisfaction if I didn't put that together, or
Mm-hmm.
it started feeling cold to me. And then I realized that if I put certain things in, like there has to be so much of me in an apartment, in a
Yeah.
place for me to feel like it's home, you know? Like any house can be a
Mhm.
house, but not every house can be a home. And this is something that we
That's true.
curate. Like it's how much you put into it.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it was also like it cost money because, you know,
Mm-hmm.
even curtains and shit, like it's pricey,
I don't
and so
have
that's been
curtains.
holding me back. I mean, I need some, bro, because I live literally in the fucking city center, and there's a lot of people that can see me doing anything that I'm doing. Um, but yeah, bro. So I'm gonna clean my house soon, and you know, I would say
Yes.
my place, it does feel like home in a way. It's also kind of my first place that I'm really at by
Yes.
myself, well, with my boyfriend, but it's like, it doesn't quite feel like me completely yet. And I'm also gonna
Mm-hmm.
not be here for the longest time. So, in a way, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
do I
It's
make
like a
this
balance.
very, yeah, the sweet spot, bro, you know, the sweet spot. Um, but yeah, if you guys want to, you can go follow me on Instagram. I'm sure you'll see a bunch of little snippets of my home on there soon. And yeah, I mean, I
Mm.
also have a really boring setup today for my video. I feel like I'm just boring. Like, it's just boring.
Oh my god. Oh
I
my
have to just
god.
add some plants, but plants are also kind of expensive, and I also don't want them to die and shit. So I have
Oh my
to.
god, I have to teach you how to take care of them. I've
I mean,
learned.
there's different plants though, so different
Yes.
plants need different
Summer,
things,
you
which
should
is
get a
interesting.
ZZ plant. The ZZ plant, I actually have one in my bedroom. This plant, I have not given this plant water since I bought it and it's thriving.
Damn, that's nice.
Yes, she is resilient. Like I also had one in my other apartment and this
Ooh, we
plant,
love that.
yes. But yeah, I think, this was a great little little
This is the
thing.
moment where we're like, okay, I think we don't know what to say anymore. Okay, bye. We're
Peace the
just
fuck
like,
out, bitches. Like, I mean, we're gonna be here
yeah,
again next week, so you guys are gonna hear from
we
us. This is gonna
are.
be really exciting. We love you. We're excited for all the podcast episodes. Marijuana, she's coming
Oh
to me
no.
soon.
I'm like, what if you say that word, what if the podcast, if like they like take it out? Can we like
Well,
say
I didn't
anything?
say marijuana. I said marijuana.
Yeah, but it's the same
No, I said
thing.
marijuana. No,
Hmm.
they're not gonna.
Well,
We're
if
just
you
gonna get
guys,
demonetized on YouTube, but that's okay.
oh
We're not
no.
monetized yet,
Yeah, we
anyways.
can't. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because you have to be like a fucking
You have to
creator,
have
partner,
certain
I don't know
watch
what.
hours, like
Oh my
a
god.
lot of watch hours. Well, that's good because we have a podcast and every episode is like an hour, so the watch hours are gonna go up very fast.
Yeah.
But bitches, bitches, we're gonna be
Bitches
back
calling my
next
phone like
week.
I'm locked up. Stop. None.
Non-stop. On the way to the fucking
Wait, what's that
helicopter.
song
Yeah,
again?
couple. Non-stop by Drake,
Pop
bitch.
star. Oh my
Pop
god.
star? What?
What
Why
did
is
you
it not
say?
non-stop?
No, it's pop star.
Identity crisis.
I really need to
Anyways,
pee. I think we need to end
we love
it
you
here.
guys. We're gonna eat. We're gonna get the
This
fuck
was
off.
Raw Conversations,
Peace out.
and
With
we
Queena and
were.
Juanita, we love you.
It's Juanono, bitch.
Juan, no, 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 no.
Oh my god, I need to pee now. Okay,
Peace out, bitches.
bye. Alright, thanks for
Bye.
listening. Bye.
Oh my god, this is fun.
It was.